Blaylock and I-10 in 2006, September of 2006. He was having some health issues. He was having actually at that time some blood clots that were, it was definitely a very life-threatening situation. And at that time he was out of work. And my daughter said, she thought we should give him a job and help him out. So I said, okay. And he was my nephew, and I loved him. I just hadn't seen him in a while. But we hired him at the company, Preston Wood & Associates, which is, for some of you who don't know, I mean, a lot of people here know us as where he was working was an architectural firm, design firm. And we brought him on. He was actually our print boy. So he did prints, which at that time we were printing on 24 by 36 paper. Today we do PDFs. No one gets hard prints, hardly. And he was making marketing plans, and he was doing site plans. And this was in 2006. And at the time, actually, Tanya Powell was our office manager, and we threatened to fire. He was horrible. He was a terrible employee. Oh my God. We threatened to fire him several times. But because he would watch movies on his computer, he would sleep. He was eating everybody else's food in the office. I had nothing but complaints from the females. And I didn't work with him one-on-one at that time. But he convinced Press and I that he could be an asset. So he got us and convinced us to put our Press and Wood Associates online on the website. And he created the website with that guy. And it was a great move. And he used search engine optimization, SEO, which Mike was very good at. And basically, that was right after, we launched it right before the Great Recession in 2008. And it was helpful to us. It really was. So we went through that. And then in 2010, Mike was diagnosed with cancerous growth on his left ear. And that he battled and survived, but he lost his ear. And it was a very tough time personally, but he still continued to work and to keep going. His will to survive was amazing, and he did so with an upbeat spirit. And during that time also, he wanted to lose weight and kind of get going. He got us to join Camp Gladiator, which was this outdoor camp, and it was pretty crazy. He lost weight, and we enjoyed it. It was 2 wonderful years, and Michael was extremely proud of himself during that time because he'd gotten himself back in shape. I'm just kind of going through the history of the company and where Mike played roles from when he started. And in 2013, David Weekley gave Press and I an offer that we accepted. The majority of the team, with the exception of Mike and I, went to David Weekley. We did not have a non-compete clause, and Preston could still be our mentor. Mike and I planned to sell plans directly from this website that we really were going to work to get going, and it was going. This was to begin our 7 years of working together, Mike and I. We were definitely the odd couple. Mike did not mind being sloppy, and I was all about presentation. I remember the first client call that Mike got from the website when it was just us. A builder wanted to buy one plan with no alternate elevations, and he wanted to build them 80 times. Mike was like, he was so excited. It was like I was an idiot. And I said, but Mike, guess what? We're not selling houses in an area full of one-stories that is gentrifying. We're not going to do that. He was so angry with me. But we continued on. I was at the time, I wanted Mike to understand who Preston Wood & Associates was and that why we were respected. And I told him we're going to continue operating the same way that we always had. During this time, I had Mike start working on 3 to 12 unit land plans. And he pursued every call and lead, and we got busy. So Mike had lots of opportunities to find skill his new talents. I'd stayed on top of Mike though, because he was just a gregarious guy, and he was a great salesman. So I had to hone him in on what he could do really well, because he was a very talented, smart man. So I had him do the research on the sites for the setbacks and easement information, for views of what the houses are going to be looking at, to search for the best product that works in those areas for the builder. Preston started working with Mike as the sites got bigger, and Mike began to have a passion for land planning and to have a love for his clients. His abilities really grew, and he knew our products well. During that time, I also tried to clean up Mike's image, to at least dress in office attire and not t-shirts and shorts, to shave and cut his hair. I even at Christmas bought him black and white outfits similar to his uncle, who he really respected, Preston. And I thought that might work, and for a while it did. And then we bought office logo shirts, but even that slipped after a while. Can I get this guy? However, his skills and ability to work with clients still continue to grow. And the other nice thing about our relationship is we had a very, very similar sense of humor. Mike, we could mess with each other all day long. And we would mess with everybody in the office. No one was off limits at us being able to tease them, even sometimes clients. We would just, we loved them all, and we had, it was fun. And I really miss that about him. In the last 2 years, as we really got busy, our relationship changed. And I didn't have to tell Mike anything. He saw the whole picture. In keeping up with some of our jobs, I relied on him now. He was now irritated with me if I don't remember all the nuances of every project. It really did change. I did tell Mike that I respected him, and I never said to him that his skills and work ethic had truly overcome his unkept style and irritating habits. Mike should be an inspiration to anyone who is not sure what they want to be when they grow up. Find a passion and you can excel just as Mike did. And Mike, he really did. You guys have no idea how far this man came. I want to raise a toast to Mike because I may have given him an opportunity. It was one of the best things that ever happened to me. Okay, I loved him dearly. Thank you guys very much.
I'm not a public speaker, so if I pass out, I first met Mike when I came to work for Sam and Preston in the summer of 2012. It was right before the sandcastle competition. He was super excited because he really wanted to go, but then I don't know why he wasn't there. I looked through all my pictures and I think something happened and he didn't show up, but he was really excited about that. And it was my first time there and I got to meet everybody and we had Dusty and he was there. So he was a bit much to take in at first because he had a very strong opinion about things like I do. The only problem most of the time they were opposing opinions, so we would clash a lot. If he were here, he'd tell you the best memory he had of me was when I threw away his moldy chicken from the refrigerator. When I threw away his moldy chicken from the refrigerator. That story, okay, I was the one who would throw away all the old the food in the refrigerator at work. One day I was on a roll chunking everything. Then a bit later he comes into the kitchen and I hear him say loudly, "Where's my chicken?" And I yelled back, "The only chicken that was in there had mold on it." And he was like, "That wasn't mold, that was pesto." And I was like, "Oh."
Sorry.
So yeah. So he was so mad at me. He immediately went to the trash. So he's every week like that. He wouldn't let me live that down till today. Like that, and that happened in like 2013. So he loved his food. We became friends over the years, and when we moved to the office, we moved the office around. Tanya, him and I shared the front part, and I remember Sam would go in there and get on to us because we would talk so much. Like me and Mike would just talk about everything, like music, whatever it was. Like we always had conversations about just random things. When we merged with David Weekly, we had a last lunch as Team Preston would, and when we were leaving, I said bye to Mike, and he started tearing up, and I asked, "Are you crying?" And he was like, "No," and he smiled, and I gave him a huge hug. I mean, he had a big heart, he did. He really loved everybody he worked with. When I came back to work for Sam in the beginning of 2018, we picked up right where we left off. He always told me I was a sister he never wanted. And he said that very often, but I knew it was with love. And then even like the last few years, him and I shared a lot, some private things, but I mean, it was refreshing to see that side of him, just to know like, a little bit more personal things about him. One day he came in with a bounce and step in his walk, like he was walking like normal, like he was just fine. And I was like, wow, Mike, I mean, you look great. He's like, thanks for noticing, like he just was he'd come in and have like this just smile on his face all the time. And most of the time though, he knew I was a morning person, so he would do it to get on my nerves. So yeah, but the last thing Mike said to me that day, the day before, he came into my desk and he whispered, Nicole, I know who is not making the coffee. It's Scott. And so I said, oh, Scott's the one not making the coffee. Okay, we figured it out. But him and I had this thing going. We drank a lot of coffee, between me and him, and whoever didn't make the last pot, we'd get mad at each other. So it's definitely not the same without him and his loud self, noise, and singing. I miss you, Mike, and I know you're up there having fun free of pain. Thank you, guys.
We all loved him. We all loved him. He was amazing. It's fun. So, have some more. We have some desserts. All of these candies. Oh my God.
Can we get the mic?
We had a client of ours that gave it to us for Christmas a couple years ago. And during COVID, he sent us another box. And Mike and I were together for about 4 weeks, 6 weeks maybe, by ourselves at office. Everybody else was at home. So Mike said, as much as he had all these health issues, he said, I'll never be able to work at home. Do you want me to work? You better go ahead and let me come on out. So he and I were there, and we had these candies, and we had eaten all of them already, but we told the client we would keep the candies for him, one of each one. So after a while, Mike, I said, I know let's get in those candies. And we ate all of those candies. So these are his favorites. We eat these candies. There's also turtle cheesecake, which every birthday we have a cake at the office for everybody's birthday. And it's mine, and Mike knew when the next birthday was coming.
I come over and ask me like, Patty, when's the next birthday? I looked it up.
He loved turtle cheesecake, so we have that. We have some others.
German chocolate.
I mean, he loved it. He liked it. Fortunately, he said he did a lot of walking, so it really was that part of decent shape. But anyway, please.
All right, well, raise your glass water to Mike, to Steve, to Mr. Mark. Let's celebrate, network, socialize. We're going to talk through his music. And it's such an honor and pleasure for me to play this music. So if you want to hear one of his favorite songs, just come up to me and I'll be glad to play it. So, salute.